Well, hey there, let's work on another card. Okay, so this one will have the Misty Moonlight base. You'll have a layer of crumb cake and a piece of white for the inside. You'll need to cut a piece of designer series paper that measures 3 3/4 by 4. Okay, so it won't be square, so then you're going to cut 1 1/4 inches off the bottom, all right, so that you have that space. And I'll show you how that's going to work in just a minute, so don't put anything together just yet. All right, so what we're going to do is put sorry, had to just step over and grab this gorgeous ribbon that we're going to use. I left it on the other table. All right, so first things first, let's get our larger piece of designer series paper up at the top. Now the back is beautiful too, so if you want to, you know, do one side one way and one side the other way, you certainly could. Okay, I just happen to do them both the same. Okay, so I'm going to try and leave the same border that I left at the top down here at the bottom, like that, and leave that space in the middle. And what's going to happen here is we're going to spread this across there. All right, so we'll put some adhesive on the back where that is going to attach. Okay, and you really just need to catch those ends like that. Oops, let's go up a little higher. You want it to be pretty even, and you want to not pull so that your cardstock bows, but you do want to pull it snug. Okay, you don't want a lot of loose in this. All right, so let's set that over here, and we'll add some more adhesive so that this can go on our card front. Isn't that pretty? I love this. There we go. Okay, so then we're going to do a little trick with the punch to get our greeting piece, which is going to look really awesome. The way you do this is with, and I'll have these punched for you, but the way you would do it is with this everyday label punch. So you want to slide in from the back side, okay, and it can be a little finicky, and just till you see the cardstock on the other side, and you cut there. All right. Now I'm not going to cut this other end just yet. I'm going to cut both of these first. And this one does the same thing, it just isn't as wide. So you want to make sure that you're kind of even here. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to just kind of come up a little bit more so that you're right about even there. Like that. Okay, then we can do our stamping, and we're going to use this "You Are Unique and Completely Amazing" greeting. Well, that's what I'm using. You can use whatever you want, so since you have the stamp set. Okay, there you go. Now I would go ahead and do this one so that you can see about where you want it. Okay. And then once you've done this one, you can kind of see how much you're going to need to take off on this one. You can even, you know what you can do? Watch this. This is pretty fun. At least I think it's going to work. Let's hope. So I'm going to put this on here where I want it. And then I'm going to tuck this in as I struggle. I told you, it can be a little finicky. It's okay. Come on. Because what you want to do is get it right in. There it goes. Okay. There we go. I think I got it. All right, here we go. So you want to just eyeball what you've got here and try and make sure you have just about the same up here and punch it off. Beautiful. Okay. So there you go. All right, there's our greeting piece. Now, the little piece that you have is for your sand dollar. Now, if you have embossing stuff and you like to emboss, you could certainly emboss your sand dollar. Okay, I'm just going to set that over here. I'm going to, right now, stamp this in soft suede, but I'm going to stamp off once because I don't want it super dark. I just want it darker than what I'm going to sponge the crumb cake on there, okay? But you could do this with Versamark and white embossing powder, and then the crumb cake would resist off of the embossing powder, and you would get something that looked like this, which is another one that I did, okay? So you could have a sand dollar that looks like this. My sand dollar is going to look a little different than that. So let me move my scrap paper in so I don't make a mess on my filming sheet. Just got that graph paper. So you want to remember to start off a little bit, get a little of that ink off because you don't want sponge marks, and you're just going to sponge that on there. You just want to take that white away. And if you get a little bit of sponge mark, no harm, no foul, because, you know, it is from nature and none of them are perfect, right? Okay. So then you would use, if you have the dies, you would use the dies. If you don't have the dies, you can just fussy cut. Now I'm going to get really close to that edge, but not necessarily cut on the edge. And I'm not going to try and get down in there. I could if I really, really wanted to. And I may go back once the bulk is off of here. But you'll see once we get this white background where I didn't sponge very much, it will look very much the color of a sand dollar, and you won't be distracted by that white. The other thing you could do is if the white kind of bothers you at all, you could use very vanilla cardstock and do a little bit of sponging on the very vanilla cardstock, and then it would be a tiny bit darker, and that might be a look that you like a little bit better. All right, let's see if I can get down in here. It is so nice to have the dies, but I wanted to show you that it's not all that hard to get that done without the dies. Okay, so let's put our greeting on with some dimensionals. And we'll use some dimensionals on the sand dollar as well. We just won't need them on the whole thing because some of it will be supported. Oh, you know what? I just lied. It's going to go flat. The whole sand dollar is going to be flat because it's going underneath this greeting, which means as soon as I pull all these off, I have to set it down, face down, so it doesn't stick to everything. put a little adhesive on here and kind of decide where I want it. Like this. And it can hang over the designer series paper. You just don't want it to hang over your card base edge. Okay, and you know what? I might even try and hide where I did that little funky cut there. Then it won't even matter. Look at that. Ta-da! Oh, I'm covering an awful lot of that pretty ribbon. What if I go down lower and go this way? Oh, that's better. Okay. So there. So figure it out how you like it and have fun. All right. Bye.